Hi. Hello, everyone. As you know, this is in the process of healing. Today, the guest is... how do I describe? This is crazy. Such a monumental person in my life who came in at the right time. Unexpectedly, but in the most gracious way possible. And it's crazy because I'm setting it up this way. But as we divulge into what it is, it's very interesting. This this talented human being, which we'll get into it.
Stop it.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. This talented human being, this person doesn't know how much they allowed me to be me. Words can't even describe. But, yes.
Don't make me cry, buddy.
I want everyone to hear and listen in to this beautiful human being called Jordan. Hi, Jordan.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well. I'm great.
You're
I'm great,
good.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready for this?
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is exciting.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I was a bit nervous. And I don't when I asked you, I was a bit like, this could go either two ways, but whatever way it goes, I'm grateful for you even just saying yes. And I just need you to know that.
Thank you.
And this is, hopefully you feel that, well, I want you to know that this is a safe space for you to express, do what as you please, and come and join the family of people that want to heal together.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah?
I'm here.
You're here for
I'm
it?
here for it. Of course I'm here for it.
Okay, so, as I've been asking all my guests, what does healing mean to you?
Ooh. I mean, it's in your little title, really, isn't it? It's a process. It's a process. It's... I feel like healing is something that's a continuous, lifelong journey. Not for everyone, but for some people, it depends on what path you're on. I mean, everyone's different. But if you are on a healing journey, I feel like it can be lifelong. Like, it doesn't ever really come to a final end, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's like life in general, really. It's just a journey. Healing's a journey.
Healing's a fucking journey with peaks and troughs, man. Like, do you know what I mean?
Right?
Like, sometimes I'm just like, okay, I keep talking about healing, and every guest that I've had so far, grateful. Bloody grateful.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've all impacted my life. And anyone that steps into your life, even if it's for 2 seconds, you've impacted me in some form.
Yeah.
That to be learning, that to be grown as an individual, but you've impacted me in the greatest ways possible, even if I don't even know it. Let's get into the nitty gritty of it, because I feel like I've set it up already.
Okay.
So I might as well just
Come on, then. Hit me with it.
who are you to me, and why is this so like funny?
God, right. Who am I to you? How do I answer that question?
Okay, yeah. Actually,
surely that's
you.
your-
Yeah, no,
Who
no.
am I to you, Khaled?
No, can you answer? Okay, you answer the question first, and then
Okay.
I will say.
Who am I to you? I feel like, well, who are you to me? No? Or vice versa.
Vice versa.
I want to say, I feel like the only way I can really put it is like soul family. You know what I mean?
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah. I wasn't going to go down that route, but...
Oh, damn, okay. What kind of happened?
No, you haven't. Like, this is perfect.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck. So I was gonna go like, it's not shallow, but like almost like I was gonna go. Okay, I don't want to be so awkward. I guess the true like me, but so me and Jordan dated. Yeah. In romantic sense, platonic sense, sexual sense.
Yeah.
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 And it was great. For the most part, for me, I think majority of it was great.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I definitely think soul family. I hear that loud and clear. Because do you remember the first time we met? There was a time where we met, but do you remember the first time we physically met?
At Brett.
Yeah.
I think so. I remember being in the studio.
Ooh.
Or was it before that?
It was before that.
Oh, God. Wow, am I wrong?
Yeah.
I feel like the first vivid memory for me was you asking me if I wanted to go and see Kinky Boots with you.
Oh!
And it literally melted my heart. I was like, oh my God, someone who cares about me. Like, what is this? Like, of course I do. But I remember meeting in the studio, but what was before that?
The first time was your induction day.
Oh, and I was on crutches still, no?
Yeah, and
yeah.
One of our friends, do you think she'll mind me mentioning her name? Yeah.
Who?
If people search this, then it is Hattie.
Oh, Hattie, yeah.
Yeah. Hattie was like, my friend's going to be there today. Like, make sure you look after her. And I was like, oh, okay. Literally, as I got off that message to her, I turn around and you're like, oh, hi, Khaled. And I was like,
my God,
what the fuck? Like, it was so, it was like, what the hell?
Here I am.
I was like,
look after me, please.
Yeah, it was literally like, I swear to God, like, it was a matter of me walking through the foyer, and I can remember it as clear as day.
I feel like for context, we were 16 at the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so we've dated more than once.
Would you say that? Okay, interesting.
Oh, you wouldn't say that?
I feel like it was never really fully discussed the first time. It was just sort of like...
That's interesting.
There was no, like, physical communication about it, like, massively, about, like, we're dating, you know?
Yeah. I think I do remember being like... oh, you're so far.
What?
You're so far. Good old...
I'm so far, what?
Your sofa.
Oh, my sofa.
Do you remember?
Oh, what, Wendy's place?
Yeah,
that
in
purple
the kitchen.
pull-out bed sofa. I fucking love that shit.
Love it. We were sitting on the sofa, and I remember being like, by the way, I've not seen anyone. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, this is all part of the
healing.
Yeah,
let's go.
I remember, like, sitting there and being like to you, listen, I'm not seeing anyone. And you just being like, oh, really? And you gave me this smile, and I was like, oh. Oh, wait, okay, yeah, she likes me. And that was a big deal in my head, because prior to that, my experience with the last girl I dated was, I don't want to say like, wow, traumatic I think is quite a heavy loaded word, but it was almost like, oh, I can't live this life where I think I can have the best of both worlds.
It made a big impact.
It made a bigger impact than I gave credit to. Because essentially, we were seeing each other, and she kind of looked at me and went, listen, I know that you've been with men. And that really fucked me up. So I was like, okay, cool, that's fine, what's the problem? And she was like, but that means we can never be. We could never be together.
Wow. Yeah.
And that really... as I said, like, I didn't give credit to how much it fucked me. Like, I was like, okay, cool, whatever, it is what it is. If we're just going to continue in that way, that's fine. But what I truly wanted was fundamentally someone that loved and cared for me.
Regardless of anything else, yeah.
Regardless of anything else. I didn't really care what form that came in. And I feel like you accomplished that. And yeah. But let's take it back a step.
Let's rewind. Rewind the tape.
So when I first met you,
yes,
I remember turning around and being like, shit. I was like, cool. And I remember this smile, and then your mum, Mama Dorset.
Mama Dorset.
Mama Dorset.
Mama Dorset. You're one of the very few people that call her that, but Mama Dorset. Yeah.
Mama Dorset.
Mama Dorset, Mother Peg.
Mother Peg.
One of the many mother names. Mother Hen, really.
Mother Hen, yeah. Turned to me and went, "You better look after my daughter."
Of course she did. Oh, of course she did.
And like, at that point, you only said hi to me.
Oh my god!
But it's kind of like she knew. She was like, "Yeah." And then you told me something like a few years later. Like she said, "Oh, I knew you two would get close." I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember her mentioning something. Actually, it was after you'd come to Dorset. I think the first time, so it was like back in 2017. And do you remember? It was
I think it was 6.
No, it was 17. Early 17 though. I was doing like a festival competition or something.
Oh,
classic. Yeah, do you remember?
So I did a dance move.
Yeah,
but...
classic, iconic. you know.
you know.
Oh god. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I think it was like just after you'd left, and she sort of, I can't remember how she worded it, but she asked me something about the two of us, and I could barely respond. But I remember going like bright red, and she was just like, "Well, I know." She was like, you know, like huff and puff about it, like classic Nikki. It's like, "Oh, it's fine, I know." She was like, "Please don't judge me, mummy." Yeah, so she did. Yeah, maybe she just knew.
She is, mother's intuition, but I'm so sure. So one day you came over on the weekend. It was very random. I can't even remember why. You were just like, I think you just asked me if I was free. I was like, yeah, of course, I want you fucking here. Like, let's do this. And you came round, and my family were there. Like, my whole family were there.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yeah.
And like, it was so cute. It was so lovely. You just interacted with everyone. Like, you didn't, not for 1 second was an awkward moment. Like, oh my god, and you were hitting it off with my brother. Not like that, but
oh damn!
Yeah,
not like that.
So like, let's clarify. I meant as in you were really like, you guys were like joking and laughing. I loved it. I loved every moment, because I was like, shit, they accept this as well. And at that point, I hadn't ever disclosed necessarily my sexuality, but there was kind of like a talk of, okay, if you did date a guy, so what? And I think it was a shock to the system, because literally I had just been like, okay, yeah, I might, and all of a sudden I'm bringing a woman home.
See, I didn't feel like they saw me like that. Maybe it was just from my perspective at the time, was that like we were just friends with a secret. And that's like how I thought thought it was, in a way.
Yeah.
I feel like I knew that Abner knew. Like,
everyone knew.
Well, apart from me, obviously. Wow, okay.
No, but okay, I say everyone knew, but our like friends apparently had no clue that we were into each other. And that's, to me, that's so strange, because listen,
I feel like a few of them did, but
the close ones, but majority of people, they said they had no clue.
Yeah, would never have guessed.
And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I was all over you. Like, I remember being like, you're my sole focus. Like,
that's so funny, because I wouldn't have thought that.
Okay, think about it this way. Every time I would be like, let's go to your house for a nap.
I thought you just wanted a nap, bro.
No. Come on. Like, I wanted to get away from everyone else just to cuddle you. Like, that was...
So cute. I didn't know that.
Do you get what I mean? Like, that was like my thing. It was like, that's how I'm a moment away from everyone. And don't fuck everyone at lunch. Like, I don't care about that. Like, right now, who I want to be with is you.
Oh my god, this is really interesting, isn't it?
The clarity in it all.
Yeah, wow.
No, but do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it was... I think I didn't even know what to expect, because I do remember you very openly... I think to say to the listeners, I do feel like this is like not long overdue. Like, we've spoken about stuff. We've spoken quite a bit
Yeah.
about things in and around these topics. But I don't think I ever quite... I think I did mention or gave you the credit for how much you helped me on my journey. Because especially in and around my family, which was a very touchy subject. And not many people... No, well, let me clarify. No one knew. Other than you and my chosen family, no one had a clue. You know? And you were definitely a support in a time that I didn't even realise I needed that. And that was really important. But the moments where I would go with you back home, it was important to me. It was really important to me because it was like, in that time, we would talk about what we needed in life, the things that we missed out in life. So, with that being said, do you want to expand on that? Like, the things that you felt like you needed at that time, if you can remember. Because I do remember, like, the conversations that we used to have made me feel like, oh shit, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I really badly wanted to fit in with something.
Yeah.
I think... I don't want to say I was craving attention, but I most definitely was. Like, not in a sense
You said this
of, like,
before.
It's funny, it's been coming up recently. I almost feel like, in a way, that might have been why I went down the performing route, because I wanted attention in the first place.
Oh, by the way, I in and out talk about this, but yeah, so we studied musical theatre.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how we got to know each other, we trained together, and we did musical theatre.
Sorry. That needs to go on airplane mode. Done. You were saying, actually, for context. Oh, okay. What was the question again?
You said that you felt like you're craving attention.
Yeah. Maybe more so love. I was craving love. I wanted to be loved by someone or something, or by people or some, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, like, I felt that with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I felt... In my mind, looking back on it, it was like so much more feeling than words. And I think that's where, like, the clarity was, like, lost. So when you're saying some of these things, I'm like, oh, I didn't know this, because, like, like, the physical communication was not so much there. It was so much more
the feeling of it
above anything else.
But would you say the physical communication wasn't? I think the verbal communication wasn't there.
That's what I meant. That's what I mean.
Sorry.
When I say physical communication, I mean, like,
verbally.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like our verbal was
pretty dire.
Very dire.
Understandably, though, we were adolescents. Like,
yeah, but I felt like I was at a place where, like, I thought, I know how. Well, lies. Like,
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know how to talk. But truth be told, like, I hid a lot of how I was feeling, like, a lot of the time, and that kind of is from episode 1 with my mum. I did talk about, or we spoke about, you know, we keep things hush hush. Everything stays at home. You don't talk about you don't talk about how you're feeling.
Yeah. I sort of grew up with a similar sort of mindset, not because I don't really know how to explain it, but it was a hush hush thing. Like, emotions were difficult to discuss with my mum or with. For context, for me at home, it was just my mum and I. And my mum was like my rock, but also like my biggest fear.
Yeah.
She's like my biggest critique, like the one I feared most, but also the one I loved the most. So emotional. I feel like understanding my own emotions in general was just very, very difficult for a long time. So communicating them on top of that was just like, I didn't realise at the time, but so impossible.
Yeah.
So,
but do you know what? I love what is becoming apparent is our running theme where I think maybe we connect. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is understanding what is healthy communication.
Yeah, communication's so key.
Fuck. It's
and
key.
it's hard, man.
It's hard.
It's actually hard.
It's hard.
It's something you have to learn. Some people are so good at it as well, and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, just communicate.
Yeah,
like,
just do it.
You know, if they've grown up in a really healthy environment where, like, they were free to express emotions, you know, with no suppression or anything, like, it's easy, you know.
I feel like I don't want to play devil's advocate, but I do also definitely see the flip side of it. I feel like I have... There's one person that comes to mind in particular. They grew up in like an overly expressive household where it became a point of where it was like, I don't know, how do I say this nicely, but like it almost became this like mythical thing. Oh, we can just express ourselves. So everything became a metaphor rather than very factual, this is how I'm feeling. And there's a fine line. I don't know, from my understanding of how I feel, at least, there's definitely a fine line between being express yourself or becoming a caricature of your feelings.
Yeah.
And I feel like you either have this is what it is, this is how it is, get on with it, or you get, okay, let's be airy-fairy about it. Oh, that's how you feel. Oh, that's cute, but you spoke about it, so you're fine. You must be fine.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
I see what you mean, yeah.
So I'm almost like torn between the two, because I'm like, okay, I didn't get the airy fairy. I definitely didn't get the airy fairy, but we did get the factual. This is what happened. So with that being said, would you have changed the way that you communicated? No. Okay.
I feel like I would say that so like abruptly, like no, because for me, everything that's happened up until now, it's the classic everything that happens for a reason, and which is also something that my mum taught me as well, which I hold to my heart always. Dearly. Because I wouldn't be, and we wouldn't be who we are now without every single tiny, minuscule experience that we've had in our lives, you know? So I wouldn't change it. No.
But that's literally same, and then this is why I think this is why we bonded so much. Our parallels are kind of uncanny to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And I definitely felt that. Like, I definitely felt with, at least, you know, my relationship with my mum. You know my relationship with my mum. Like...
It's pretty iconic, if you ask me.
But do you know what I mean? Like, love her dearly. And especially, like, my relationship with my father, like, we spoke about that in my first episode, that... We don't have the best relationship, and that's okay. We have a very simple communication between us. However, when it comes to my mother, I was always scared of her more. And I don't know if it's because I was fearful of her, but it was more of disappointing her. And I don't think it was never a sad thing or intentional, but it definitely was a thing.
Yeah.
Like... To disappoint my mother?
Oof. Oh, damn, I feel that one so hard.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is, it might not even be intentional. I might just be making a childish mistake.
Yeah. As part of your learning.
As part of my learning.
But, like, in that...
But I meant...
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Which nicely moves me on to... Your childhood.
It's like you planned this.
Did I? Oh, maybe. Your childhood experience, and I think I admire. I want to start off by saying that I do admire your journey quite heavily, because I feel like it's kind of reversal between us. Do you get what I'm getting at?
Sort of.
Elaborate on your childhood, and then
okay.
I think, and then
elaborate on my childhood.
elaborate on your childhood if you can, and like, can you tell me about how maybe that led into your healing process as knowing what your childhood was like?
Okay. So where does one begin? Growing up, it was just my mum and I. My dad initially wasn't in the picture. He lives in... We do now have a relationship, obviously.
Yeah.
Timeline-wise, I'll get onto that. He lives in Florida. So yeah, growing up, it was just my mum and I. And it's funny now, actually, you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing, which is something my mum also loves to say. That it was hard for my mum. It was really, really hard for her. I think just being a single mum in general, and you know, first time mum, she hadn't had a child before. I was her only child.
Yeah.
Almost like, I don't want to be like, oh, it's a miracle, but she had always wanted children and never really had the opportunity to. So she was 40 when she had me, which for some people might be like, oh, that's quite old, but I'm so grateful for that, because damn, that woman has wisdom. Like, she's got some serious wisdom.
Oh, that's so interesting. But we'll go on to that.
Yeah. Okay, how do I go into it? It was... I don't know how to explain it other than it was just like complete polar opposites all the time. Like like I said before, she was my absolute rock, my number one support.
Yeah.
But also has her own ways of showing love, you could say, or maybe doesn't know how to show love in the ways that I might have needed it at the time. Okay. And obviously as a child you can't express or communicate that because you're still learning.
You're still learning what love is to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say it was rocky. It was rocky. We had like it's so hard to explain other than the fact that we were so close, but we butted heads all the time. We used to argue and bicker all the time. She was quite strict because she was protective. She wanted to care for me and look after me. Of course. But obviously that like set boundaries for me that obviously my other friends were... It was even like silly things like sleepovers that I wasn't allowed to go to sometimes, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like it was one point where I was like 16 and I was like, Mum, please let me live. Oh, I don't know, but I think our relationship changed massively when I went to Brit at 16. So yeah, it was tough growing up because, yeah, like I said, so close but so far apart at the same time, so similar but so different. Yeah. Because then when I did end up meeting my dad, this was 2017. That was an interesting year, wasn't it? Yeah. I then saw how different these two people were, like such polar opposites. So yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what's interesting? Because I got to meet your dad at the same time as he did.
It was the same. It was 2 weeks that he was there.
Yeah, and I remember being so honoured. And okay, this one I definitely did not kind of disclose to you. Was it's sad in a way, but I was kind of like, wow, this guy's travelled the world for you. Yes, he's missed quite a big chunk of your life, but in my head it was like, this person's travelled the world for you. That's what I had in my head. Really?
That's so interesting.
And the reason being is because at that point in my life, as you know, I didn't have a relationship. So anything to me was like, this is gold.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I can see that, yeah.
It was almost like, I was like, okay, cool. Okay, I need to make sure that this works out. Mm-hmm. Like, that, it felt like that was my duty. And I didn't care how that happened. I just needed to know that it happened. Because at that point, I was kind of like, okay, well, I was kind of blissful at that point. So I was like, okay, but we're going to be together. So it is what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was like, whatever comes from this means that they will have a communication. They will have a communication structure where they can, even if it's not good, they're still talking. You know?
Yeah.
And he was a laugh. He definitely
he's the biggest joker I know.
Yeah, he said.
We you know what's funny? Like my side of the family, my mum's side, we call him Peter Pan because he's literally just like a
big
kid.
kid.
He's a big kid.
He's a big kid.
He's just, which is actually really beautiful, and I admire it. I really do.
Yeah.
He's such a free soul. But yeah.
But it's that. It's loving your inner kid.
Yeah. Oh my god. He is the epitome of that. I'm learning so much from it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loving your
Which is
inner
really
kid.
interesting.
So this is like such a tangent, but I've been in shows recently. Big up Hummingbird Elida. This
Big
is
up.
crazy. Big up. Because she's coming on later on episodes, but stay tuned for that. But we're all playing games. Acting games are very like child centric, very like just retrieve back.
It's play.
It's play.
Yeah.
Literally, that's why it's called a fucking play. And it was so interesting because we had all the generations in the room. All of them, like I say all, but the main character was pushing on to like 50, I would say. And the youngest in the room, early 20s, teens. Well, not teens, it was early 20s. But anyway, I just thought it was incredible. Like, I stopped for a minute, I stopped my tracks, and I was like, this is incredible. We're all being kids.
We're all being kids. Which is almost how it should be, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Because
to an extent.
To an extent. To an extent. But I was like, wow. We all just need that play. We need that play to release.
It's where the freedom lies as well, I feel like. Yeah.
Oh
so
my
much
God.
freedom lies in that.
How
did that feel for you? I'm asking you a question. How did that feel for you?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
How did that feel for me? Do you know what? For the first time, playing a drum game didn't feel like an assignment.
Wow. Oh,
does that make sense?
That's really beautiful, yeah. Yeah.
Whereas before, I felt like there was a purpose in it. I was too busy looking for the purpose in it. I was too wrapped up in, okay, there's a reason why I'm doing this, so let me find it.
Yeah.
Instead of letting it come to me.
And just playing.
And playing. And I did that exercise and I was like, shit, I missed the point. Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. It's literally just to play. It's to feel free. Well, I think you've just, completed that for me. It was literally just to feel free. And that was what I was seeking for so long, is to feel free.
Yeah.
But it was there on a plate for me.
Yeah, I was literally handed to you and you're like, where's the purpose?
What's the purpose of this? Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I desperately want to be free. I want to be free of this. I want to be free of, like, pain. I want to be free of, like, I want to be free of it all. I don't want this societal jargon of BS of do you know what I mean? Like
societal jargon. I couldn't put it back.
But do you know what I mean? Like this nonsense of like someone deeped it to me the other day. Like, do you know what the only creatures on this planet that pay to be on it?
Yeah.
It how?
I love that phrase. It's hilarious.
It's absolutely. Who are we paying to?
Who we paying to, man?
Like,
who we paying to, bro?
Who we paying to? There must be someone at the top of the food chain, like, laughing.
Oh, there is.
But do you know what I mean? But do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's crazy.
The only creatures. It's
And that's society. And that's conditioning.
Like,
And that's the Matrix. We're not getting into that now.
but you know what I mean? Like, that is borderline sick. Like,
Yeah.
so to answer your question, if I got it right, it was the first time I felt freedom. Like, genuine, I could be a child again. Or
That's blissful.
to be a child that I wanted to be. Let's make that clear.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I felt like I had to grow up really fast.
Yeah.
Not to anyone's fault per se, but I had to grow up really fast.
Yeah. It happens for a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I would say I was in a similar boat. It's hard.
I don't know, maybe this is, I don't want to say my naivety, but the people that I had around me, or maybe I just didn't view, and this is why I want to have these conversations, because maybe I just never viewed it that way, but for a lot of people, I felt like they got to do all the kid stuff. Got to make the mistakes, got to, you know,
Yeah.
go to Primark and buy the, you know, like crappy clothes, and they'll be like, yeah, oh my god, I look so stylish, like, you know, like all that stuff. But I was so, everything was purposeful for me. Everything was with a purpose.
That's an intense life to live for how many years?
But I had no clue.
Yeah.
I didn't know any different.
Yeah, that's all you knew.
I didn't know any different because I was too busy trying to be something that I didn't want to be. Do you know what I mean? Like, the
fit into a box that you thought you had to fit in.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not a box.
But
I'm a sphere. You know what I mean? I'm not that shape.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was almost like I kind of got to a point where I was like, I need to do this, and it just became a tick.
Yeah.
A tick. And like in the last episode, I mentioned like I don't want to sound ungrateful for 1 second. I've had and will continue, because you speak it into existence, baby.
Speak it into the universe, baby.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, please.
I will continue to have a successful career because it's not just about me. It's really not. It's about the people that are around me.
Yeah.
It's about the people. I want people to feel something. Imagine going your whole life without feeling something.
Yeah.
Feeling something wholeheartedly. How?
Some people never do, you know. It's scary. We're very blessed. We're blessed that we can give that to people as well.
Yes. And I think that's... And to go back on your question, well, not question, but what you stated earlier, is that you said you felt like you did performing as an intention thing. Let's state this, that you're talented. Regardless... No. You're talented regardless if that was the case at the time.
Yeah, no, I feel like I knew I wanted it. I wanted it because my soul fucking called for that shit. Like,
Yeah.
Like, really, really wanted it. But I think the more I did it and the older I got, I was a big old people pleaser me. I'm still on writing that narrative now. Like, I still have to be really aware, because it just like clicks into place that I do things to fit in or to please the crowd I'm around, or to make the other people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So, and I knew that maybe where that talent was there, and I knew people liked it, I was like, oh, this is good. People like it when I do this. So I kind of held on to it in that sense, instead of holding on to it of like, my soul loves this and I'm doing it because I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where do you think that may have stemmed from, if you don't mind me asking?
What, of doing it for the people pleasing?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say my mum. It stemmed from my mum. Yeah, the fear of disappointing my mum. I didn't want to disappoint.
Yeah.
And I think there were parts of me, and again, not to anyone's fault or to blame, but it's just it goes back to like generational trauma. It goes so far back. Like it's not even just to like my trauma, my mum's trauma, my mum's trauma, and and especially when I feel like that's what part of the healing thing is, though, isn't it? It's like we're the ones that have become aware. And like that awareness is like, once you click into that awareness, there ain't no going back. There's no going back. Yeah. I think I wanted to please my mum. I really wanted to please my mum. Yeah. And I knew that God, it's hard to word, isn't it?
It is. But you're doing
I've got
great.
it in my journal. My journal's with me. It's somewhere in there, but sorry, I'm like pausing a lot.
No, it's for you. Like, I just want to say this literally, the podcast is for this. It is for this. It's literally for the process. I literally want to dismantle this idea that you have a eureka moment. Like, yeah, of course you have the like, oh yeah,
there are
that
like
makes
loads
sense.
of light bulb moments.
There's light bulb moments, but that is because you're piecing it together.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that for everyone it's a process, because I could be wrong. I probably am wrong, or maybe I don't know.
I feel like I read something about this recently. I don't know what book it was in, or was it a podcast? I'm not sure. About how some people have like, maybe it was Jim Carrey talking about it. Random. Some people have like a light bulb eureka moment, and then that's it, and they can hold on to that forever. Yeah, and they can carry that through with them for the rest of their lives. And other people have like light bulb moments. Yeah, and like they sort of kind of like ride. I always say ride the wave. Like I feel like life's a wave, and we just gotta ride it. You know? Yeah. And you hit the highs and you hit the light bulb moments, and you go back down, and like there's a mathematical thing in this as well. I don't want to get all geeky, but what's it called? Is it phi? I think it's called phi, which is like I can't even explain it. Look it up. It's interesting. Sacred geometry is all I've got to say about that. It's an interesting subject. But how the wave is like really big, like you hit these really highs and you hit these big lows, and you keep going and going until eventually it like really softens out. It never hits the straight line ever. Like the ratio will never ever hit that perfect straight line. Okay. But it gets closer and closer to that divinity, you know?
It's crazy you say that. There was a video a couple months ago that went viral, you know, as it does on, you know, I say infamous, but TikTok, about, you know, the guy
TikTok.
Who said it? It's not James. I think James Watt is in the video, but it's like, you know, like an actor's talk thing, right? And he said, "Oh yeah, I was with my therapist, and I said, I just want things to be smooth. I want it to be straight." And then she said, "But okay, look at like the monitor on
we spoke
about this, yeah, on the monitor, like on the heart, and if it did go smooth and it was a straight line,
you'd be dead.
It's flat line." So that also makes me think, okay, when we're dead, do you think we find peace? Because a lot of people, mm-hmm. I'm saying a lot of people with such confidence, but as in, I think there's a lot of people that go to the grave unhappy. Mm-hmm. A lot of things unsolved. Mm-hmm. Things that no one ever knew. Mm-hmm. Hurt. Mm-hmm. For what? And this is what...
See, that's really interesting though, because then you could go into like karmic life cycles and things as well. Like some people are here to experience a karmic life cycle.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
could you elaborate on what karmic life cycle for people that may not know?
it really depends on like what you believe and what your perspective
Yeah,
is. Though.
okay.
So
We're not saying that. Well, it all is dependent on what you believe in, and we've had so far the guests that have come in have been religious, not religious. So
so it's super open.
It's super open, and this is.
Okay.
I want this space to be a space to learn.
Okay.
And just take what you need.
Take what resonates and leave what doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow, we're getting into like the real big picture now, though. In my eyes, anyway. God.
It's okay.
Okay. So from my perspective, I'm sure it's kind of like it taps in a little bit to New Age spirituality, but not deep down that rabbit hole. Like it's.
So are you you're spiritual?
I would say I'm spiritual, but personally, for me, spirituality, I see science, religion, and spirituality all have so many beautiful similarities and so many things that are true in itself and that tie in together almost as like the same thing. And some of it I see as like, I don't know, I feel like if you get too attached to one of them, it can
derail it.
It can derail it, yeah. From my perspective anyway. Obviously, for some people, religion is like an absolute lifeline and it is the gospel for them, and I completely respect that. And for some people, science is their complete gospel, and I respect that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I have quite a rounded perspective that I see truth in all of them. So, okay, we're going on to karmic life cycles. So, I keep wanting to say it's kind of relating to the book of Journey of Souls by, I think it's Michael E. Newton who wrote that.
Okay.
He's a hypnotherapist. He goes into like the super subconscious, and these people recall. He goes into lives between lives. So they go, and they're all very, very similar cases. And I think there's at least 24 of them. I could be wrong, maybe more, in this specific book anyway. But I feel it to be true, and how this life for us is such a small blip in our experience, but because we experience human life in such like it's very dense, so, and we experience time in such an interesting way.
Yeah.
So it feels really elongated and like we're here for such a long time. But actually it's just a blip, like it's just another experience. But so yeah, sometimes maybe you've lived a life previously, for example, and you may have not learnt a lesson that you wanted to, or were, I don't want to say supposed to, but you lived a life and then you go on to live another karmic life, which is, you know, potentially the opposite of what you experienced in the one before. Okay. But then I feel like before and after is a very difficult thing to express when we're talking about time and these things.
Like, time is not linear. Yeah.
Like sort of everything existing at once, kind of thing.
Recently, I can't quote it exactly, but quantum physics has, you know, proven that there's multiple timelines. So who's to say it's infinite? So who's to say that spirituality is wrong? Who's to say that religion's wrong? Who's to say that science is wrong? It could all be right. Yeah. How about that? It's all right.
It's so funny, even talking about this now, I can still feel that like people-pleasing part of myself. That's like, I don't know how to express this or say this, like, you know, like without like upsetting people, or, you know, upsetting a certain group of people, or but like, it's like trying to make it make sense to everyone, but not everyone's going to understand anyway, you know.
As I feel like this podcast is becoming a process for me, and the more I'm doing it, the more I take little, you know, little nuggets that the first episode with my mum, we talk about intention.
Oh God, that's been a big lesson for me recently.
But the point of intention is that your goal is not to upset anyone, and I think that is what we need to clarify more in our society. We're so quick to so-called cancel people. We're so quick to be like, this person is evil because they did this thing like this many years ago. Yes, there's some things that is like, bro,
please,
bro, that was too, that I don't know. And I guess it depends on where you fall on that. But who am I to judge you if you have forgiven someone? Who am I to judge? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not in your shoes, in your life. I haven't lived your experience. Who am I? Yeah,
I don't know where you come from, so I can't really then justify why I should be angry at the fact that you've maybe accepted someone's choices quicker than I have, or why you have behaved or acted or reacted in a certain way. It's not I don't feel like it's my place. But if your intention is a place of love or care, or with the intention to just give a view on something because that's how you feel, I don't think, without the intention of hurting someone, and I want to make that very clear, that it's without knowingly, and that's a key in this, I think, and so I'm really trying to underline this, like make it very clear.
It's intention.
If you are knowingly hurting someone, and multiple people are saying it's hurting, then you know your intention is different.
Yeah. I feel like for I mean, I could speak on, say, behalf of me and you anyway, or I don't know, maybe you, as people who are, I want to say, quite empathetic, you can feel intentions almost immediately, but it's like, it's an intuition thing as well, really, isn't it? Like whether you listen to that.
If you want to listen to it.
If you want to, yeah. Or if it's a lesson that you're about to learn. Who knows? It's like, okay, well, ride this way then. Yeah, intention is everything, though. It really is.
For sure. I do want to ask you, leading on, I haven't really asked this question, and just openly, do you think you've used spirituality as a coping tool with your healing process, or do you think it's a thing of, okay, it's not coping, it just is, or like,
okay,
do you get what I'm getting at?
Yeah,
okay,
yes, and yes. I think I had my own like personal few awakenings. I don't think I had a big eureka moment, because I think I always knew to an extent anyway.
Okay.
Just from like experiences throughout my childhood and growing up, I just knew that there was more to this experience.
Yeah.
However, it's funny you asked that, because last year I did go down quite a spiritual rabbit hole, and it can be used as like, I've heard the phrase spiritual escapism recently, which I think is also a big thing.
Okay.
And not all, but some of the new age spirituality can be like, oh God, I don't want this to be like a council thing, but it can be toxic spirituality as well, because when you only acknowledge the love and light and don't allow the shadows to come forth as well, and acknowledge those and be aware and accept those shadows too, it can completely ruin you. It's just another form of suppression. And like
what's shadows, by the way? Just
shadows. Shadows shadows, I guess, are just oh God, how do you explain shadows?
I feel like I have.
Please.
If you
no, please. Yeah, maybe.
So shadows is like unhealed, untaught trauma that is not reviewed. Is that?
Yeah.
Would you say to an extent? But
yeah, partially, I would agree. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I say partially. That sounded like really. I would partially, but not fully. No, I think it's also not just trauma. Well, actually, yeah, no, because it's personal trauma as well as societal, generational, conditional, connective trauma from everyone. Collective, I meant to say, but...
No, you're doing amazing, man.
I'm making moves, bro. Bad movements.
So, with that being said, with our shadows, do you think that to, bring it back, do you think there was any shadows with us?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And if there was, do you think you've healed from that? Do you think... Because I want to mention, so prior to doing this, we hung a bit. And I mentioned, I don't consider you an ex. Even though when the second time we dated, it was official. I still don't consider you an ex, and I don't know if that's in general for the people that I have dated. That I, for the most part, except for one,
Damn.
but it's true. Except for one,
yeah.
I'm still friends with them. I still talk to them. We have phone calls, like, not just hi, bye, 10 minutes. And it's not because I'm trying to hold on to something that's not there. It's just maybe it might change in a few years. I don't know. But as of now, it's kind of like there was a reason why I liked you. There was a reason why I cared for you. That doesn't change.
Yeah,
you might have done something shitty. Maybe it hurt and we need space. Let's do all of that. I'm here for that. 1, 2 years, 3 years, I'm here for that. However, there's a reason I liked you. There's a quality, there's a shine in you that drew me in initially. Not saying that works for everyone.
Yeah.
But at least for me, it's like I still want to be cordial with you.
Yeah.
But to relay back to what we were talking about, do you think we've healed from our shadows in our relationship prior?
I would say so far, well, healed to a level that, like, we're here right now.
We're doing this.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not to say that shadows don't continue to show themselves, like, later on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll pop up when you least expect it, like, hello.
Yeah.
You gotta look at me, bitch. And you're like, damn, I wasn't ready. I mean, you never are, right?
No.
You never are.
No, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, so when you popped up a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh, am I ready? And I did go into, like, panic, because I was kind of like, okay, the last time we dated, I thought, okay, this is it. And I told you that.
Yeah.
I was so ready. I was like, oh, I can just chill. Like, not like that, like, not chill on you, but I was like, oh, we're good.
Yeah.
This is a long run. And then when it, like, shattered beneath me, I was like, oh, okay. How do I deal with that? Maybe I'm still processing it now. Well, I think I processed it for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It took a couple months.
Yeah.
But I think I was also processing who I was at the time.
Yeah.
And I think you need that. And I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm talking out of line, but I think you were processing you as well.
Oh, massively, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think two people trying to process themselves and then be like, okay, we're going to do this. Like,
yeah, to be fair, it's interesting. Like, we sort of had a little bit of a conversation about it, how I felt at the time I was in... I'm glad I found that place when I did, but I was in a really grounded place within myself when we first started dating again. I was really at home within myself, like super at home.
This is so ironic. So many people keep talking about home, but I love it. Let's keep going.
Yeah, super at home within myself, very grounded. And I think that's what, you know, going back to like the spiritual suppressing or whatever it is, or, you know, toxic spirituality. Sometimes when I think about it, I think about oh my god, I don't want to pronounce it wrong. If it's chakras or chakras. I think it's chakras. Correct me if I'm wrong, please.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I feel that I was really in those like higher energies, like very much like, well, afterwards. Beforehand I felt very grounded. And then once that shattered with us, I lost myself in the spirituality side, that I was so almost what I told I'm about to like, I can't remember about to say this. I called you like a, what was it, like a floating like cathedral or something? Oh yeah, and that came right back to my head. Let's just say that.
Oh my god, do you know the thing is, yeah, when you were saying it, I was like visualizing, I was like, wait, maybe I like,
did you see it that way?
Like, do you know what oh, sorry. You know what it boils down to? It's like, as much as you say you're a people pleaser, I was unconsciously one. Like, selectively.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I was a people pleaser to the people I loved. That's what it was.
Wow, okay. That's interesting.
Not in a whatever way, it's just, why should I care? Like,
yeah.
I think what I've experienced very early on, people disliking me. Like, my gymnastic career would have not existed for the people that were in my life at the time if I had just been like, okay, stop this. They don't think I'm good enough. Then leading on to going to be in the Great Britain team.
Yeah.
They didn't see that for me. But then I was like, okay, I've got that. I know I have that. I know that this is the sport I love. So I've got that. So why do I care what you're saying to me right now? And when you said that, it was like, okay, this is the person I love. Well, let me rephrase that. This is the person I'm in love with. And they're saying this about me. Let me find some truth in that.
Wow.
You know, even if I didn't feel that, because I feel to a certain extent, I didn't necessarily feel that. If I'm very honest. And you like, honestly, say your piece. I felt like, I don't want to say there was some truth. I get what you were getting at, but I do feel like it was more of a projection.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about it? It kind of comes back to the lack of communication.
Yeah. Now we know that. Know that. But yeah.
Because what I saw as like disconnect was just you. What I saw as disconnect from me was you just disconnecting from like
everyone
life
else,
and
but
just
you...
like coming to just chill, like the purple sofa, like in the same.
Yeah.
Oh, damn! That's a full circle moment.
Oh shit! Yeah. No, it was that.
Yeah.
No, but it was that.
Yeah, it was.
You were always my, maybe like you said, the spiritual escapism. Maybe you were just my Jordan escapism, but like not in the way that I escaped from the world. I just wanted to be present with you in that world. Does that make sense?
And yet from my part it felt like you were so unpresent with me. Do you know what I mean? Like we'd have moments of presence and then maybe it's because you were trying to disconnect from the other world, like the difficult life that you were, you know, going through at the time, that there were other moments where I was like, are you even here? Like,
you said that more than once, and I agree. I feel like I was so wrapped up in like being like, I don't want to lose it. We had this discussion. Like,
that comes back to a bit of people pleasing as well.
Yeah, it was like, I don't want to lose this. I don't want to hurt you. And I know to a certain point, I was kind of getting irritated with the fact that I kept saying that. Like, I didn't want to lose you. But in actual fact, it was kind of like, I want you to be good with me. But yeah, Jordan, this has been an experience.
It has been an experience.
Okay, so with every guest I have, we give one quote and 2 songs that we can add to our playlist for other people to probably hear from the songs.
God, that's so cute. Oh my god, mine is so contrasting though.
No, it's fine. People find their truth in anything, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's good. I don't know the kind of people that will be listening, and I am sure that you're all beautiful people.
Of course.
You know. So they'll come from all different kind of backgrounds, lifestyles. So they probably listen to all different genres. So we're here for all of it. We're here for all of it.
Okay.
So should we start with quote? Let's go with the quotes.
Quote. Okay. Well, when you said this, it's my quote's super short. It's literally 3 words.
That's fine.
But it's something that I've been, I would say, like reflecting on recently, and like it's been like showing up a lot in my life recently. Of like, what's within is without. So,
okay.
What environment you create for yourself in your internal world is what reflects outwardly, which I think is just another mirror effect, really.
It's just mirror.
That what's within is without. Like, if you give yourself that time of day, just like, even if I feel like self-love is really important.
Self-love.
It's so important. And like giving yourself that little bit of love, even if it's just a small amount, even if it's just a little bit every day, like makes such a difference to like your external world.
Okay.
So what's within is without.
I think, I think that resonates with a lot of the guests so far,
Really?
which is cool.
I like that.
Self-love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've been trying to find that. And I think I've been dipping in and out. And definitely you... I didn't mention earlier, sorry, I want to make this clear, and this is why I felt so supported by you. You made it... You know I don't do the whole, like, label or whatever, like, because I'm just like...
No, me neither,
if I'm into you, I'm into you.
It
and
is what it
is what it is. But you made me feel so comfortable in myself. It was almost like you were more comfortable in myself than I was. And that shocked me.
Maybe that triggered you.
It bloody well did.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's good.
I mean, vice versa, though. Let's be honest. Like,
let's be honest. No, because
it's true, though.
But I had no inkling. Like, I do you remember? Like the first time we spoke again, I was like, "What are you?" Like, I was like, "Okay, I don't care," but I was like, "Oh, got it."
Yeah.
But it made so much, like, it just made sense.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 songs.
2 songs.
Can you name the song and the person?
Is this like that's part of like my healing process?
Healing process or something that makes you feel something.
Okay. One is Colour Me In by Damien Rice.
Sorry. Yeah.
Which I have a cover of. I should probably post that shit. But yeah, that's a beautiful song. It was like a full cycle song, actually. Like, came back into my life like later on. I was like, hello. Like, wow, this hit me when I needed it, man. Like, damn. And the other one, which is such a contrast, but it's good vibes, man. It's good vibes. You might know what's coming.
I don't.
Is As by Stevie Wonder.
Oh, I should have known that.
Come
That's
on,
so
man.
dumb.
It's my favourite song in the world.
Yeah, no, it really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cute.
It's a great song.
It's great.
Good vibes.
You just made me think of something because I was going to do my 2 songs. I'll do my 2 songs.
Yeah.
Also, the beat that I just did was just not but that's okay. We're going to look past that.
You were doing Sir Duke.
Sir Duke! But you also love that.
Yeah, you know I love that.
Okay, yeah.
You know I love that song.
I'm not going to lie, I do like the ads cover with Mary J. Blige and George.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I don't know, there's something about it.
Sorry,
anyway.
Stevie Wonder tops it for me.
Stevie's just...
Yeah, Stevie's my man, like...
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to add another one to the song. So I'm going to do 3 today.
Okay.
I did 2 podcasts ago or something. Yeah. Okay. So the first one I want to add, and I think this is like for us, Lost by Frank Ocean. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Because I feel like...
Don't make me want to say another one, though.
You can.
Can I? I wanted to say it in the car earlier, and I didn't end up saying it.
Go on.
No One Knows Me Like the Piano.
Something... Yeah. Being connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. No One Knows Me Like the Piano. I'll add that, don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, very new-ish in my life, but it's impactful. It's like what I needed to hear. And it's almost like I envision this for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Not for a lot of people, but like for people that were in my life that I wanted them around, but just felt like I couldn't have them for whatever reason. But it is what it is, and it's okay.
Lessons, baby.
Lessons. Shower by Joseph. The lyrics in that, for whatever reason, hit. Listen to it, see how you feel, but it hits. And lastly, this is kind of... It's crazy. You ready? Mm-hmm. Confidently Lost by Sabrina Claudio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Confidently Lost by Sabrina Claudio.
Yeah.
And I think... So, to clarify...
What a song. Oh.
We really bonded over
her. Yeah.
Sabrina, you introduced me to her, and I feel like
you introduced me to that Steph.
Steph? Oh no, I know who you're talking about. Oh no, it wasn't Steph.
No.
What's her name? She sings Quarantine Queen. Wait, I know who you're talking about. It's not Steph. Wait.
No, Steph introduced me to.
Oh,
Sabrina
our
Claudio.
Steph.
Our Steph, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I feel
Sorry, I'm like name dropping. Hi, Steph.
But yeah. That was interesting.
We bonded over that.
We really did. Confidently Lost.
And then it like came back as well, like later on.
It
and
did.
like, you know, when like the lyrics hit so different, like after a few years, you're like, oh,
that's what you...
Oh damn. Yeah, one of those.
It was good.
Like, it didn't resonate like lyric wise before.
I feel it did
for me personally. Anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I feel like it did hit, but I didn't want to accept it hit.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, oh yeah,
denial, like no,
it did hit.
Confidently
lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was definitely confidently lost. But
nice.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me. It's been so interesting.
It's been really good. It's been very... Yeah. I've really appreciated your presence. I've appreciated you. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for your time and energy and your company. Always.
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 Well, lovely to see you. And thank you for listening. And stay tuned for next week's episode of In the Process of Healing.